Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Odio, and I'm here today to review Karate Kid Legends for you. Oh, yes, Karate Kid is back, and it's back in the theaters. This franchise is looking healthier than ever. Let's get into it here. So, Karate Kid is a franchise that's been around a long time, since the 80s, 1984, when Daniel LaRusso himself had to learn karate to defend himself from bullies picking on him in New York. What an original story. Teaches hard work, dedication. If you stick to your goals and work hard, you can achieve anything. He gets trained by Pat Morita, Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi. Back then, just learning some karate from Mr. Miyagi himself helped Daniel LaRusso overcome a lot of challenges. And we got 3 movies in the 80s and a 1989 cartoon, which I used to watch on Saturday mornings. Woohoo! And then it kind of died out. In the 90s, we had Hilary Swank. She came in as the next Karate Kid, but that didn't really work. In 2010, well, guess what the Karate Kid then? He started Kung Fu Fighting. Everybody was Kung Fu Fighting. Yeah, they had a little reboot with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan teaching Kung Fu. Yeah, I know Karate Kid, not necessarily about Kung Fu, but anyway, then after that in 2018, we got the real revival, Cobra Kai. Oh yeah, William Zabka and Ralph Macchio reprised their roles as Daniel LaRusso and Johnny, the bully from the first movie, and Cobra Kai nails it. They had a great tone, came out on YouTube Red. You guys remember YouTube Red? Yeah, it was quite a few years ago, but it existed.
Oh, and remember Bionic Man?
And after that, they got moved over to Netflix, had 6 successful seasons. Fast forward to now, we're on Karate Kid Legends, which takes place 3 years after the events of Cobra Kai. It does kind of have some bookends that tie it into that, but overall, this movie tries to stand on its own. Also, it's pretty clear the 80s was a lot harder time than nowadays. If you look at Pat Morita at 52, this is what he looked like here. Now you look at like Ralph Macchio and William Zabka now, it's like, wow, these guys are looking great. Are they in some kind of time machine? Ralph Macchio is 63. He's 10 years older than that and still looks a lot better. So, wow, I mean, hey, I guess these guys are just nailing it. So right at the beginning of Karate Kid Legends, we're actually going to go back to like 1986, Okinawa, Japan, when Daniel LaRusso goes with Mr. Miyagi over to Miyagi-Do, the family dojo over in Japan, and visits him there. It's really cool seeing the old footage. It gives you that nostalgia kick right at the beginning, like bookends it at the start of the movie there. Mr. Miyagi's talking about how like all the trees are super strong and they all have two branches, same tree to make Miyagi-Do the best one ever. I certainly remember many of the great lessons Mr. Miyagi taught. They are quotable by every human being from 1984 to now.
Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. Wax on, wax off.
Everyone loves to quote Mr. Miyagi. So then, right after that, we kind of go to Beijing, China. Like, okay, this is where we're going to go now. And when the camera slowly pans in on the our main guy, played by Ben Wang. I've never seen him in anything before, and I gotta say, he does a great job. He plays Li Fong, a young teenage boy in Beijing, and he's training kung fu, working hard at his kung fu all the time with his master, Mr. Han, played by Jackie Chan. Is that what they mean by legends? Jackie Chan? Maybe Ralph Macchio? What? Could be, but he's learning kung fu, and everything is kung fu. Of course, the Karate Kid focuses on this. It makes total sense. Kung fu fighting, right?
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Don't worry. They're not following the mistakes of the 2010 reboot one. It's not all about kung fu, but there is quite a bit of kung fu in it because that's what Ben Wang knows. He knows kung fu, and he lives over in China. Has been there his whole life. He's got some trauma, some hard times with his brother, and his mom wants to get out of China and get a new start. She gets a job. Guess where? As a nurse in a hospital. But where, you say? Oh, yes, New York City.
New York City!
So just like Daniel LaRusso, he's going to move into New York to start a whole new life. What will his life be like in New York? Well, that's where the story begins, and our Karate Kid legend starts up in there. And once Li Fong and them get to the city, I gotta say, like I said, Ben Wang, he's very endearing. He's very charming. It's a bit of a fish out of water story. He goes around, wants to get some stuffed crust pizza, and all the New Yorkers laugh at him like, what stuffed crust? Head on down under the bridge and get some of that. And that's how he meets Mia. Her dad's like an ex-retired boxer who owes money to the mob, and she's got a heart of gold, is going to help him out. She's really great. I like her character. She's played by Sadie Stanley, and her dad is Joshua Jackson. But yeah, they form a little bond. Ben needs help looking around the city. She needs help picking up groceries and things like that. So they kind of become friends, kind of like the Russo way back in 1984. Like we're sort of treading familiar ground, but I don't care. I like this ground. I like this character. And then, of course, we meet the big bully. Connor Day is the big bully in this one. And I gotta say, I do find there's a lot of similarities to Karate Kid too. Daniel, going over to Japan at a water type thing. Also to Karate Kid 1, but either way, he's actually a pretty crazy bully. He's got kind of the long hair like the villain from part 3 or Mike Barnes. And he's throwing a lot of head kicks. He just comes off as a total jerk. He head kicks his own like partners. He used to date Mia, and he's a total jerk to everybody. You really dislike him pretty quickly out the gate. You don't like him. You don't like his dojo. They're kind of like Cobra Kai, but they all like train fast, train hard, train to kill. And their dojo master's like, we don't train just to win. We train to kill. It's pretty intense. So he's a pretty cool villain. But it is an original story. So one day, Li Fong sees that Mia's dad is getting attacked by these 3 guys outside of his business. And he tries to defend himself, but one of them kind of hits him in the back of the head. So Ben steps in and uses his kung fu to try to help. And that's where we learned about his trauma, about his brother was killed after winning a kung fu tournament, and he froze up and couldn't help him. But he steps in and helps Mia's dad, and his kung fu looks pretty good. Now, against a couple random bullies in the alley who don't know he knows Kung Fu, Ben Wang looked like he was pretty good. Li Fong gets some good kicks and good punches in there. But against Connor Day, the big villain who knows he's going to try to use karate, he had nothing. The guy made him look like a chump. And then we get like a nice little side story, a B plot of Mia's dad who asks Lee to help him train. He's like, help me train, teach me some kung fu. I have to win a couple boxing matches to try to win back money I owe to these gangsters. And of course, these gangsters are also tied into Connor Day, the bad guy's training partners and things. But he ends up helping him out, and he says everything is kung fu. And then we get the movie sort of switches into Li Fong training her dad with kung fu at the pizza place while making pizza. We get a montage, just like the 80s. It's a montage of like,
We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
cooking pizza, training, doing sit-ups and things like that. It was fantastic. And her dad goes in the ring and gets a fight. You don't get the desired outcome there, but it's pretty good. It's an interesting little plot. It helps to build a good connection between Li Fong and Mia and their dad, and really cements him as part of New York. His mother, doesn't really want him to fight karate and things like that because of their brother, but at the end of the day, she also wants him to fit in and make friends and things like that. So it's good. She comes around in the end. We also get, I think, is a super fun callback. In the first movie, it's all about the crane kick for Daniel LaRusso, how he's got to win. Well, Li Fong has the dragon kick, which his brother taught him, but he's going to try to use that to win in the end. No spoiler, but what do you think happens? So Li Fong eventually gets attacked, beat up, threatened, and he has got no choice but to go fight Connor Day. But the only way to fight him is, you guessed it, karate tournament. How does every Karate Kid movie and everything solve all their problems? With a karate tournament. This one's going to be the 5 boroughs. Everyone from everywhere gets to come in, and you got to earn points and fight. But here's the thing, Li Fong is not trained. He's not ready to go. Uh-oh, what are they going to do? Well, cue it. We're not only just going to get an 80s montage, we're also going to get Jackie Chan. That's right, Mr. Han. He comes back as the old wise mentor, and he looks pretty good for 73 too. I got to say, he's not looking too bad, but he comes back to try to help him train, to get ready for the fight. He's trying to get his kung fu up to snuff. But then he realizes, you know what? Kung Fu's not going to be enough. This is a karate tournament. We're going to need a karate master. Who are we going to get? Cobra Kai? Is that who we're going to get? Johnny Lawrence? No. We're going for, you guessed it, Daniel LaRusso himself, the Karate Kid. Jackie Chan goes off to get him. They meet at the Miyagi-Do and stuff. It's pretty cool. The two legends meeting. And he says to Ralph Macchio, he says, you're going to come to New York and you're going to help me out. I've got someone to train. And Daniel's like, no, I'm busy. I don't have time. Like, this takes place 3 years after the last Cobra Kai. So he definitely has time. And eventually he shows up.
I knew you'd come.
And once those two Karate Kid legends are there, that's when it's about 3/4 of the way to the movie, but it's great. They have 2 different training styles. They're both training Li Fong super hard in different ways, wax on, wax off. And Jackie Chan's got a much faster way of doing it with Kung Fu. We do get a really cool moment where, of course, some bullies come after Ben Wang, but you know what happens? Oh yes, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, they get a nice little fight scene. They're looking old, but they fight off the bullies using their karate and Kung Fu. I was like, yes, that's it. We always got to get one of those. Even Mr. Miyagi had a couple fights. It's going to have to happen. The masters have to protect the student. We get a pretty cool training montage, and you get, like I said, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio both giving different instructions. They tie it back to the beginning. One tree with two separate branches will make you stronger. At one point, Jackie Chan's like, yeah, but some branches are stronger than others. And him and Ralph have a little sparring session. It was great. It's played off as fun and interesting. And Li Fong, he takes in the lessons from both of them. Two of the greatest masters of two great disciplines training him at once. How can he lose in the 5 boroughs? And of course, you get the big fight. You're going to get the tournament. It's going to happen.
Round 1, fight!
But yeah, the big finale for the end of the movie, which everyone probably knows is coming, is going to be that 5 boroughs tournament. And I got to say, for the first time in the movie, when they start doing these fights, it almost like a video game. They have like points popping up on the screen, little animated banners and stuff. It was great. It's like almost like Mortal Kombat or the original Karate Kid. You know, you see the two of them fighting side by side, getting points, and you get that Li Fong has to advance to the end and face Connor Day, the 3-time champion. Can he win? And of course, you get the epic final conclusion fight where they just go out, they go at it, they're both throwing their best moves, everything's falling apart. Who's gonna win in the end? It is awesome. I absolutely loved it. You can't help it. You find yourself cheering for Li Fong. It's great seeing Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio in the movie together. I loved it. I just had so much fun. After the whole final conclusion, like I said, the mom comes around. We get a little tiny cameo of Daniel LaRusso goes back home, and we do see Johnny Lawrence in the end. He's not in the whole movie, but we get a little callback to him there. They're getting some pizza at the end of the movie. It was great. I absolutely loved it. It's a different take, but still feels kind of familiar. Ben Wang as Li Fong really nails it. He's the performance that you're going to be following most of the movie, and it really works. I think he just did a fantastic job. Overall, I really, really enjoyed Karate Kid Legends. It doesn't mess up any of the old lore, creates like a new way for them to go forward, and it pays homage to Miyagi and to Macchio and everybody. It was a whole lot of fun. I would give this one a solid 8 out of 10 on the odometer. Good performances, nice karate, and a great finale, and a new character we can all kind of get behind. It was endearing and earnest, and I really liked it. The performances really bring it through. It's a very basic, standard story. It's not treading anything new here, but I was in the mood for this kind of story, and I got it. It's a great movie, and it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend going to the theater and checking this out when you get the opportunity. But thanks so much for watching this far, guys. I really appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.